89%. That is a staggering number, isn't it? If I told you that there was a button you could press that would guarantee you an 89% chance of winning the lottery, you would press it until your thumb fell off. But when it comes to the bedroom, when it comes to that intimate dance between two people, we often ignore the statistics because we are too busy getting caught up in the gymnastics of it all. So today, I want to talk to you about the one position that makes 89% of men cross that finish line. But I am going to warn you right now, it is probably not for the reasons you think, and it is definitely not about being an acrobat, because here is the honest truth that most dating coaches are too afraid to tell you. We overcomplicate intimacy. We treat the bedroom like it is an IKEA manual, where if we don't put tab A into slot B at exactly the right 45-degree angle, the whole thing is going to collapse. But human connection, and specifically male satisfaction, is actually biological and psychological primal. And when you understand the software running in his brain, you don't just become good in bed, you become unforgettable. So what is this magical position? It is what I like to call the driver's seat, or what you might know as being on top. Now, before you roll your eyes or click away because you are thinking, Matt, I hate being on top, I feel exposed, I don't know what to do with my hands, or I feel self-conscious about my stomach, let me stop you right there, because the reason this position works for 89% of men has almost nothing to do with your technique and everything to do with the visual feast and the power dynamic that it creates. Let's break down the male brain for a second. Men are visual creatures. We know this, right? It is a cliche because it is true, but let's go deeper. When a guy is in the moment with you, his brain is craving a show. He wants to see you. Not just parts of you, not just a close-up of your shoulder or the ceiling fan while he does all the work. He wants to see the full picture of the woman he desires enjoying him. When you are in the driver's seat, you are giving him the ultimate view. You are framing yourself as the star of the movie. And this is where the 89% statistic comes from. It is not just the friction, it is not just the physical sensation, it is the psychological overload of seeing the person he desires, taking control and getting pleasure from him. Now I know what the number one barrier is to this position. It is insecurity. I have sat across from thousands of women in my retreats, and when we get to the topic of intimacy, this comes up every single time. A woman will say to me, Matt, I want to be adventurous, I want to be confident, but the second I get on top, all I can think about is how gravity is affecting my body, or if I look weird, or if he is staring at that one part of my stomach that I am trying to hide. And I want to tell you something that might change your life. He does not see what you see. When you look in the mirror, you are zooming in on the flaws, you are looking for the imperfections, you are critiquing the lighting. When he looks at you in that moment, he is not a critic, he is a fan. He is not looking at your tummy, he is looking at the fact that a naked goddess is straddling him, and that reality overrides every single insecurity you have in your head. Think about it this way. If you went to a rock concert and your favorite band came out on stage and the lead singer started belting out your favorite song, would you be standing in the front row thinking, I don't know if I like the way his shirt bunches up around his waist? No, you would be thinking, oh my God, this is the best moment of my life. That is how he feels about you. You are the rock star. You are the main event. And when you take that position, you are forcing him to look at you and acknowledge your power. And that is the second reason why this position is the king of kings for male satisfaction. It is the surrender. There is a misconception that men always want to be in control, that we always want to be the ones driving the car. And sure, there is a time and place for that dominant energy. But there is something incredibly intoxicating for a man about surrendering control to a woman he trusts. When you climb on top, you are essentially saying, I got this. You are taking the reins. You are setting the pace. You are deciding how fast or how slow we go. And for a man, that is a massive relief. It takes the pressure off him to perform and allows him to just receive. It allows him to be a spectator to his own pleasure. And that shift in dynamic is what pushes so many men over the edge. It is the combination of the visual stimulation and the psychological release of letting you take over. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of it, because I promised you I would tell you how to make this work, not just why it works. The key to mastering the driver's seat is not about having the core strength of a Pilates instructor. It is about rhythm and connection. A lot of women get up there and they freeze because they think they need to do some sort of complex hip isolation movement that they saw in a music video. Forget that. The most effective movement is often the most simple. It is about grinding, not just bouncing. It is about finding the friction point that feels good for you, because here is the secret that men won't tell you. When you are enjoying it, we enjoy it 10 times more. If you are up there stressing out about your angles, he can feel that tension. He can feel that you are in your head. But if you are up there and you close your eyes and you focus on what feels amazing for your body, if you start to moan because you are actually feeling pleasure, not because you think you should, that sound and that energy travels down into him and it electrifies him. You have to be selfish to be generous. That is a paradox of intimacy. By focusing on your own pleasure in that position, by finding the angle that hits your sweet spot, you are inadvertently giving him the best experience of his life, because nothing turns a man on more than knowing he is the source of your ecstasy. So how do we make this practical? How do we get you from feeling self-conscious to owning the throne? It starts with the setup. Don't just scramble on top in the dark. Own the transition. Make it deliberate. Push him back onto the pillows. Look him in the eye. That eye contact is lethal. If you can hold his gaze while you are taking that position, you are establishing a connection that is deeper than just physical. You are saying, I see you and I want you to see me. That level of vulnerability is terrifying, I know. It is easier to hide. It is easier to turn the lights off. But the 89% success rate comes from the lights being on. Metaphorically and literally, he needs to see your face. He needs to see the expressions you make when you are close to the edge. That visual feedback loop is what triggers his release. Now, I want to address another common fear, the fear of taking too long or being boring. Some women feel like if they are on top, they have to perform a circus act to keep him interested. They think, if I just sit here and grind slowly, he is going to get bored and start making a grocery list in his head. Let me assure you, if he is inside you and you are moving, he is not thinking about groceries. He is thinking about how lucky he is. You do not need to rush. In fact, slowing down is often more powerful. Slowing down builds anticipation. It allows the sensation to build. It teases him. When you are in the driver's seat, you control the throttle. You can bring him right to the edge and then slow it down. You can tease him. You can lean forward and whisper in his ear. You can lean back and give him that full visual. You have all the tools at your disposal. And the beautiful thing about this position is that it is versatile. You can lean forward and rest your chest on his chest for a more intimate romantic connection where you are kissing and whispering. This is great if you are feeling a bit tired or if you want that emotional closeness. Or you can sit up straight and arch your back, which is incredibly visually stimulating for him and gives you deep access. You can even turn around and face his feet, which creates a completely different sensation and view for him. The variations are endless, but the core principle remains the same. You are the one happening to him. He is the canvas and you are the brush. Now I want to talk about the energy you bring to this, because you can do the mechanics perfectly, but if the energy is off, it won't work. The energy needs to be one of enthusiasm. I have said this before and I will say it again. Enthusiasm is the #1 aphrodisiac for men. We are terrified of rejection. Even in a long-term relationship, men are walking around with a subtle fear that maybe you are just doing it to keep the peace, or maybe you are not really that into it tonight. When you jump into the driver's seat enthusiastically, when you initiate it, you are shattering that fear. You are screaming with your body language, I want this. I want you. And that validation is like a drug to the male ego. It makes him feel like a king. And when a man feels like a king, he wants to treat you like a queen. It creates a cycle of generosity. So if you are sitting there thinking, Matt, I just don't have the confidence for this yet, I want you to fake it. I am serious. Fake it until you make it. Adopt an alter ego if you have to. Pretend you are a character in a movie who is confident and seductive. Step into that role, because the body leads the mind. If you put your body in a position of power, your mind will eventually catch up. Start by just sitting there. Just straddle him and don't move. Just look at him, let him touch you, get comfortable with being the focal point, breathe through the discomfort. Realize that he isn't critiquing you, he is worshipping you. And slowly, as you realize that he is enjoying it, you will start to enjoy it too. You will start to realize that your body is a tool for pleasure, not an object to be judged. And that realization is freedom. That is where the magic happens. Now, there is a technical aspect to this that we need to cover, because while the psychology is 90% of it, the 10% mechanics do matter, especially if we are talking about that 89% finishing rate. When you are on top, you have the ability to control the depth and the angle. This is crucial because every man is different and every woman is different. What feels good for your best friend might not feel good for you. In this position, you can experiment. You can try circular motions, you can try up and down, you can try side to side. You are the scientist in the lab discovering the formula. And don't be afraid to use his hands. If you need support, grab his hands and put them on your hips or put them on your chest. Guide him, show him what you want. Men love direction. We want to win the game, but sometimes we don't know the rules. When you guide his hands, you are giving him the cheat codes. You are saying, touch me here, hold me like this. It makes him feel competent and it ensures you get the stimulation you need. It is a win-win. And speaking of stimulation, do not forget the driver's seat is one of the best positions for clitoral stimulation because you have free access. You can use your hand or a toy while you are riding him. And let me tell you something about men. Seeing you touch yourself while you are with him is explosive. It is the ultimate turn on. It shows him that you are so into the moment that you are doubling down on the pleasure. It takes the pressure off him to be the only source of stimulation and turns the event into a shared erotic experience. So don't be shy about bringing in reinforcements if you need them. The goal is pleasure. The goal is connection. The goal is the finale, and however you get there is valid. Now, I want to pivot slightly and talk about the emotional connection that happens in this position because I think it gets overlooked. We talk a lot about the visual and the power, but there is an emotional intimacy to being on top that is unparalleled. When you are lying on your back, you are in a receiving mode, but it can sometimes feel passive. When you are on top, you are nurturing him in a way. You are enveloping him. There is a protective quality to it. You are surrounding him with your body. And for a man who spends his whole day having to be tough, having to be the protector, having to have all the answers, being enveloped by the woman he loves is a profound relief. It allows him to be vulnerable. And vulnerability leads to deeper intimacy. If you want to make a man fall in love with you, not just lust after, you create spaces where he can be vulnerable, create spaces where he can let his guard down. And surprisingly, the bedroom is one of the best places to do that. When he is in that state of surrender, looking up at you completely open, he is bonding with you. Oxytocin is flooding his brain. He is associating you with safety and pleasure and release. That is a powerful cocktail. So don't view this position just as a way to get him off. View it as a way to bond. Look into his eyes, stroke his hair, kiss his face, combine the carnal with the tender. That mix is what drives men crazy. That is the secret sauce. It is the juxtaposition of the naughty visual of you riding him with the sweet emotional connection of you caring for him. It hits every button he has. The Madonna and the whore complex is a real thing in psychology, and this position allows you to bridge that gap. You can be the goddess and the lover at the same time. You can be dirty and sweet at the same time. And that complexity is what keeps a man interested long term. We get bored with one-dimensional things. We never get bored of a woman who can be many things at once, a woman who can take control but also be tender, a woman who is confident in her body but also emotionally present. That is the unicorn, and you can channel that unicorn energy every time you climb on top. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Matt, my knees hurt or I get tired. Listen, I get it. It is a workout, but you don't have to run a marathon. Do it in spurts. Start on top, then switch, then come back to it. Or use pillows for support. Or change the angle so you are not supporting your whole weight on your quads. Adapt it to your body. The point is not to be an athlete. The point is to be present. Even if you are only up there for 2 minutes, those 2 minutes can change the entire trajectory of the night. It is about the willingness to go there. It is about the attitude. I would rather have a partner who is enthusiastic and willing to try for 2 minutes than a partner who is technically perfect but emotionally checked out for 20. Heart over technique every single time. And guys love effort. If we see you working up a sweat that is hot, do not worry about looking perfectly composed. Messy is hot. Heavy breathing is hot. Sweating is hot. It shows you are in it. It shows you are affected by him. So let go of the need to look like a mannequin and embrace the messiness of real passion. That is what makes it memorable. Now, we have covered the mindset, the visual, the mechanics, and the emotion, but there is another layer to this onion, and that is the sound. I briefly mentioned moaning earlier, but I want to double down on this. Silence is the enemy of great intimacy. Silence creates a vacuum where insecurity grows. If it is quiet, he is thinking, am I doing this right? Is she bored? Is this weird? Sound fills that vacuum with reassurance. And in the driver's seat, you are the conductor of the orchestra. You set the volume. Your breath creates the rhythm. If you are loud, he will likely get louder. If you whisper, he will lean in. Use your voice. Tell him what feels good. Tell him you love looking at him. Tell him he feels amazing. Dirty talk, or even just affirmative talk, boosts that 89% to 99%, because now you are engaging his auditory sense along with his visual and tactile senses. You are creating a surround sound experience, and men are very responsive to auditory cues. Hearing a woman in pleasure is a biological trigger for male arousal. It validates his masculinity. It tells him he is succeeding. So do not be afraid to make some noise. Let it out. It liberates you and it ignites him. Okay, I want to take a breath here because we have covered a lot of ground and I can feel you processing all of this. You are thinking, okay, Matt, I am going to try it. I am going to get in the driver's seat. But what if he finishes too fast? That is the 89% dilemma, right? It is so effective that sometimes it is over before it began. And that is a valid concern. But here is how you reframe that. If he finishes quickly, it is a compliment. It means you drove him wild. It means the visual and the sensation were too much for him to handle. Do not get annoyed. Laugh about it. Take the win. Say, wow, I guess I really did a number on you. That reaction keeps the vibe positive and playful. If you get frustrated or disappointed, you kill the energy. But if you frame it as a victory for your irresistible allure, his ego stays intact and he will be eager to go again or to make it up to you in other ways. Remember, the goal is connection, not just duration. A passionate 5 minutes can be better than a mediocre 30 minutes. It is about the intensity of the connection, and the driver's seat delivers intensity in spades. It is a pressure cooker of intimacy, and that is why it is the go-to for that finish line moment. But I want to talk about something that happens before you even get to the bedroom, the mental preparation, because the battle for confidence is won or lost before the clothes come off. If you walk around all day telling yourself you hate your body, you cannot expect to flip a switch at 10 p.m. and feel like a sex goddess. It doesn't work that way. You have to practice self-love during the day. You have to look in the mirror when you are dressed and find one thing you love. You have to wear underwear that makes you feel sexy even if no one sees it. You have to build that reservoir of confidence so that when the moment comes, you have something to draw from. You are preparing the soil so the flower can bloom. So start tomorrow morning. Put on something that makes you feel powerful, walk a little taller, flirt with him a little bit over text, build that tension. So when you finally get home and you push him onto the bed, it is not a random act. It is the culmination of a day of confidence. That is how you own the room. That is how you own the position. And that is how you become the woman who doesn't just participate in intimacy, but directs it. The woman who knows her power. The woman who isn't afraid to take the seat that is rightfully hers. The throne. Now, as we move into the next part of this discussion, I want to talk about the variations, because the driver's seat is not just one thing. There are levels to this. There are ways to spice it up that will keep him guessing for years. We are going to talk about the reverse. We are going to talk about the Lotus. We are going to talk about how to use props. Because once you have the confidence, the playground opens up, and that is where the real fun begins. We promised to build the castle, so let's put the bricks in place. When we talk about the driver's seat, we cannot ignore the variation that turns the visual dial up to 11, and that is the reverse. Turning around, facing his feet. Now I can hear the collective gasp of insecurity from here. Matt, you want me to turn my back to him. You want him to see everything from behind. Yes, I do. Because if the standard driver's seat is about connection and power, the reverse is about trust and pure, unadulterated visual stimulation for him. It is the angle that 89% of men fantasize about because it feels forbidden, it feels primal. It is the view he usually only sees in magazines or movies, and suddenly it is live in his bedroom. And for you, it is a different kind of freedom. You are not managing eye contact anymore. You are in your own world. You can close your eyes and focus entirely on the rhythm. It hits different spots. It changes the curvature and the depth. It is a completely different physical sensation that can often lead to that finish line much faster for both of you. But the real power move here is the glance back, over the shoulder. Just that one look. You turn your head, you catch his eye while you are in that reverse position, and you give him a little smile. That moment right there creates a memory that gets burned into his hard drive. It is the mix of I am ignoring you and I am doing this for you that drives men absolutely wild. It is the cheeky factor, and we love cheeky. We love a woman who knows she is driving us crazy and isn't afraid to show it. But let's swing the pendulum back to the other side of the spectrum, because intimacy isn't just about the wild visuals, it is about the soul connection. And there is a version of being on top that I call the Lotus. This is where you are on top, but you wrap your legs around his back. You are intertwined. You are chest to chest, heart to heart. You can feel his heartbeat and he can feel yours. This is the position for when you want to feel like one person. It is slow, it is grinding, it is intimate. It is not about a race to the finish, it is about the journey. In this position, you are literally breathing the same air. And for that 11% of men who might have trouble finishing due to stress or anxiety or performance pressure, this is often the cure, because it removes the performance aspect entirely. It becomes about holding each other. It creates a safe container where he can relax, and when a man relaxes, his body takes over. So you have the reverse for the thrill and the Lotus for the soul. You have the full spectrum of the male experience in your hands. And that is what makes you dangerous in the best possible way. You become a woman who understands that intimacy has seasons. Sometimes it is a summer storm, and sometimes it is a gentle winter fire, and you can navigate both. But I want to get back to the core reason why this position, specifically the act of you taking charge, creates such a high success rate for male satisfaction. It comes down to a concept I talk about often, which is investment. When a man chases you in the dating phase, he is investing, he is putting in effort. When you get into a relationship, that investment often slows down. We get comfortable, we get complacent, but when you climb on top, you are forcing him to reinvest his attention. You are demanding his focus. You are not just a passive participant in his life, you are the main event. And there is a biological trigger that happens when a man feels like he is being claimed. We often talk about men claiming women, but a woman claiming a man is infinitely more powerful because society tells you to be the prize waiting on the shelf. Society tells you to wait to be picked. When you take the driver's seat, you are flipping the script. You are saying, I am not waiting to be picked, I am doing the picking. I am choosing you, and I am choosing to take my pleasure from you. That shifts the power dynamic from him having power over you to you sharing power with him. It is a partnership, and that is sexy. It is confident, and confidence is the glue that holds attraction together. You can have the perfect body, you can have the perfect face, but if you have the energy of a doormat, he will eventually lose interest. But if you have the energy of a queen who knows her worth and isn't afraid to express her desires, he will never leave, because that energy is rare. Most people are sleepwalking through their intimacy. They are doing the same 3 things in the same order every Tuesday night. You are offering something alive. You are offering presence. Now, I want to address the final piece of this puzzle, which is the aftermath. What happens after the 89% statistic is realized? What happens when the show is over? This is where the bond is cemented. Do not just roll over and check your phone. Stay there. Collapse onto him. That weight of your body on his is grounding. It is the cuddle hormone oxytocin flooding the system. That is when you whisper in his ear. That is when you tell him that was amazing. That positive reinforcement is crucial. It is like training a puppy. I know that sounds terrible, but we are simple creatures. If you reward us when we do good, we want to do good again. If you pull away or criticize or rush off to the bathroom immediately, you break the spell. Stay in the bubble. Let the reality of what just happened sink in. That vulnerability after the act is just as important as the confidence during the act. It completes the circle. It says, I can be a wild rock star on top of you, and I can be a soft, safe place for you, all in the span of 10 minutes. That duality is what makes a woman unforgettable. So here is my challenge to you. I don't want you to just listen to this speech and nod your head and say, that makes sense, Matt, and then go back to doing the same old thing. I want you to try it tonight or the next time you see him. And I don't want you to wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. The lighting will never be perfect. You will never feel 100% ready. Do it anyway. Feel the fear and climb on top anyway. Push him back against the pillows. Give him that look. The one that says, I own you, for the next 20 minutes. And watch what happens. Watch his eyes widen. Watch his breath catch. Watch the way he looks at you, not just in that moment, but the next morning over coffee. He will look at you with a renewed sense of awe, because you didn't just give him a physical release, you gave him a memory. You gave him a version of yourself that is free and powerful and unapologetic. And that is the greatest gift you can give to your partner, and more importantly to yourself. Because this isn't just about making him finish. That 89% is a great statistic, but the 100% that matters is you. It is about you feeling comfortable in your skin. It is about you realizing that your pleasure is valid and that your power is real. When you take the wheel in the bedroom, you start taking the wheel in other parts of your life. You start speaking up in meetings. You start setting boundaries with friends. You start walking differently. It is all connected. The bedroom is just the training ground for your life. So take the keys, start the engine, and drive it like you stole it. Because you are not a passenger in your own life, and you are certainly not a passenger in your own pleasure. You are the driver, you are the destination, and you are the prize. Now go out there and show him exactly who he is dealing with. Show him the goddess, show him the rock star, show him you. Because trust me when I say this, there is no position on earth more attractive than a woman who knows exactly who she is and isn't afraid to show it. That is the position that wins every single time. 89%? No, 100%. Game over.